What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Joe, and we are back with another video. So today we do have, I'm not gonna call it a special shoe, it's a different shoe. But yeah, man, we have the Yeezy Basketball Knit Energy Glow. First thing that you'll notice about this shoe is this giant sock-like construction at the top portion of the shoe. Unlike its predecessor, who does have, while it does have that ankle support right there, it obviously does not have that sock portion right there. There are definitely a few key differences. One, the upper is made up of a knit material versus this one. It has a more so weaved but more constructed fit. This one is very soft to the touch and there's tons of padding inside, while this one, and this is also not the basketball version of the shoe, so that could be why, this has a lot less padding on the inside of the shoe. But I will say, I definitely think you could still play basketball in this shoe. With that being said, getting to the shoe, I'm going to start at this giant sock at the top portion of the shoe. I definitely think the black with the green creates a great contrast for this shoe, but one thing that this black sock does take away from the shoe is the ability to get it on easily. When I tried to put this shoe on, I could not get it on. Literally, I was sweating trying to get this shoe on and it just wouldn't work for me. I definitely think that's a big issue because if I'm going true to size, some hoopers like a snug fit on their foot. I don't want to have to take 15 to 20 minutes trying to get both shoes on prior to playing basketball. I think that's a lot of time, honestly, when basketball shoes are something you should be able to slip on and slip off and not have to sacrifice the comfort for that. So honestly, for me, that's a big con with this shoe. I don't even know if I'd buy another shoe just for lifestyle wear because, I mean, honestly, it'd just be way too hard to get on when I want to go out. I like to be able to just slide my shoes on, more like my 350s or my 380s. Honestly, even the 700s, while you have to tie those, they are still a lot easier to get on than this shoe right here. Now, with the cons aside, I think this is a pretty neat shoe. Honestly, I do think if I had the opportunity to get a pair in my size in a different color, I think I definitely would cop it because I do think they look good on foot. They look good with sweats, and I think you can cover up this sock-like portion of the shoe and you'll have like a low top Yeezy basketball shoe. And I think it honestly looks really good. The pattern on this knit has a green with a striped sock-like ribbing right there. And then it also has these gray patches going across the top of the shoe. Now, with those gray patches, some of them are embossed and some of them are debossed. The grays are debossed and the green pops are embossed. I'll show you guys a close-up of that so you can see what I'm talking about. But with that being said, we're gonna still focus on this black portion of the shoe. So going down the tongue of the shoe, there is a black mesh or weave texture going right here. I'm not gonna say it's a mesh, so way softer than mesh. It's more so a cotton weave kind of texture. But anyway, going inside of that shoe, there is a giant pad right here, much like the 350 knits. There's a padding right here, and there's tons, when I say tons of padding on the back side of this shoe. So I do think when they were thinking, hey, you know what, let's make another basketball shoe, they definitely took in comfort into account here. Now with the predecessors, they did have an issue to where if you're wearing this shoe, the back of your ankle does kind of get cut a little bit. And that's one thing that I was not really a fan of when it came to the Quantums. But I think this shoe takes care of that. The only caveat is they're hard to get into. With that being said, going to the toe box of the shoe, you do have a gray middle area right here. It's almost like a dark forest green color right there on the eyelet. But with that, it does have this striped texture that you see right there on the side. I love how Yeezy and Adidas put this different upper together. I mean, there's just so many different textures and shapes and colors and patterns on this shoe. I think it honestly makes for a insanely cool looking sneaker. Now that we have the upper taken care of, I mean, again, there's not much different about this upper on one side or the other. It's your pretty standard shoe or basketball, Yeezy basketball shoe. But going into the midsole of this shoe, again, you do have the same midsole that you see here on the previous versions of the Quantums. But the only caveat is you do have a different back. This is a solid gray versus this one being a darker ash gray or charcoal gray with the hit of silver on the side. And again, this is reflective. Now with this one, the front portion is reflective. I don't believe the back portion is reflective. This upper right here is reflective, and you can see it on the toe box of the shoe. It's mainly up here on this portion here, not really the back side of the shoe. I definitely think it is a pretty insane feature on these, the knit being reflective. I mean, you can't beat that, honestly. But again, going back to the bottom of the shoe now, this is a Boost shoe, and again, you do have the shock plate right there in that black, same shock plate that you have on the bottom of this shoe. You can't really see it because this has a cream bottom, but this is a transparent bottom with green. It is green. It looks green on camera. And then you have your window to your Boost right there. So again, the exact same midsole from the previous version of the Quantums or the Yeezy basketball shoes, but clearly we have a completely different upper. Now, if I'm going into rating this shoe, my first thought would be, let's look at the comfort. Comfort of this shoe is definitely a 10 out of 10 from what I can feel with my hands. Other than that, when it comes to practicality, these shoes aren't very practical, only because if I'm a hooper, I want to be able to put these shoes on and off. So for practicality, honestly, I'm gonna give these shoes, I would say a 6 out of 10, only because had I been able to get these shoes on, I'm sure they'd be super comfortable. But then going into the styling of this shoe, I definitely think this is a 10 out of 10. Yeezy continues to drop different shoes that are just honestly pretty cool. I mean, what shoe do you know looks like this? A lot of these shoes are honestly just one of one when it comes to the styling and the patterns that they put on these shoes. I know a lot of people don't like these shoes, not a huge fan of these shoes, but I honestly do think they're very cool. I would definitely love to have a pair of these for personal, but honestly, I'm gonna have to get rid of these just because they don't fit. So with that being said, let me know what you think about this shoe down in the comment section below. Do you think it's a hit or miss for Kanye and Adidas? Or do you think, you know what, I don't even wanna look at this shoe? Like always, make sure you guys leave us a like, a comment, and subscribe. Peace.